Hey guys, so I wanted to share sort of a conversation about, the power of this work with spirit is that spirit knows everything about us, God, non-denominational, everything, right? And so the promise has always been that when we come to this place in our human life with our amnesia, and it's time to heal something because timing is always divine, so that we can move forward and manifest and do our work and live our purpose, we may have to revisit wounds, right? And when we can have faith and understanding that things that come forward are always in our greatest good, our highest behalf, spirit, our best interest, especially from spirit, being in acceptance and moving through the wound and watching how quickly our ego wants to step in the way, and which turns us away from the healing. Actually, I know in my work with spirit, I watch, and I know that if I didn't fully understand and trust and have faith in how much we are all so dearly loved, and when we hear the message and it feels hard for us or it feels unkind, that's an absolute impossibility. We want to, especially now, just keep pushing through so that we can be in highest service to not just humanity, but also to our own soul and the things that we signed up for before we came in here. We want to have reverence for our soul's journey, which should bring us through any fear and hesitation to walk into our wounds, the unhealed ones. And there's always going to be unhealed wounds until we leave this body, and sometimes we leave the body still with plenty of wounds that are still in our basket when we come back here. Spirit has really asked me to be courageous in sharing some things to give you an idea or give you the knowing that I work with spirit in my own healing the same way that they teach and ask me to share with you guys. And so there's nothing that comes forward in these sessions via spirit or via me from spirit that, I don't require of myself and my own soul. Using myself as an example, this past week has been, it was hard and also profound at the same time. About maybe 10 days ago, I've been having really bad neck pain and stuff for a while. And I've been doing my work with it, right? And it's gotten better. It's not gotten worse. But I did go get an MRI because that's smart. It's like, hey, is it, what's in the physical here? What has shown up in the physical that was originally in the etheric? Same, right? Same thing that you hear me talk about. And it's the same truth, for all of us. And so you guys see in my Breathing the Light, I've been breathing the light as they taught me 5 years ago. And I've been doing work with my neck and everything. And I asked Spirit, please show me what wound is still, resonating here in my body, in my physical and my etheric body, because I know this feeling and I see it every day in my sessions, how emotional wounds or things we're unconscious of, we have no idea, even because we've done so much work. And I know I've done a ton of work, I asked because I know when I ask, I receive. And I know that it's usually pretty uncomfortable but I know I'm kind of in the healing of something, because it's like, oh, I start feeling that discomfort and all of these things. And then in this case, this week, I actually had a reaction to this wound. So let me tell you, you guys have heard a lot about, that what brought me to this work was being stripped of everything but faith. And that was speaking to my homelessness in Venice and my world falling apart, because I asked what's trapped in here. Here's what came, right? So first, I had this beautiful weekend, and it, you know, with this unfolding with my guides, and Abuelita showed up, who was with me after ayahuasca for a while, and I can't really, and I'm not meant to put words to it because it's my own journey. It's private with me and my peeps, as I tell you guys, hey, you're not in this healing journey having these incredible experiences to jump out of the experience and go explain it to somebody. You're meant to resonate with it and be with it because it's yours, it's private, it's beautiful, stay here in it, you know? And I actually probably couldn't even put words to it because it's sunk into my cells and my knowing to the point where I was literally bawling tears of gratitude. So I have this beautiful experience. And then the next day, this distrust came up around, you know, somebody who is absolutely trustworthy. And I had a knee-jerk reaction, long story short. I said something, you know, it's like I projected that onto them, and it shouldn't even have been in this space because you know, thank God I have done enough work to have, you know, trustworthy people around me, now, which it hasn't always been the case. And so I hope it's making sense. So here's the tough part, right? So I did this and I said this, and the amazing, beautiful thing is because of the soul that this person is, their reaction to it was so perfect because she sent me an email, first of all, with incredible boundaries for herself, which I, you know, applauded. And she basically like put it back in my lap, right? So I already was sort of in the shame of it. And this is just like being honest. And then I knew that I was gonna, you know, have a response, and I knew I was already like breathing through it and trying to like talking to my peeps, and I knew I was like right in the middle of this amazing opportunity to heal. It wasn't feeling very good at all, right? It's moments I wanted to like curl up in a ball and get under my bed, or, you know, I cried to my wife, like, you know, if this shit is real, right? And so when she sent me that email, I got up, this was first thing in the morning, and I went for a walk. And I just started talking to my peeps. I started saying, help me through this. Please help me through this. This is very uncomfortable. Why? What is this still in here that I have this come up because I'm clear that it's a block, right? And this is me, like you guys, like doing work on behalf of spirit, living my purpose, doing my stuff, and this is coming up. So this is the point of the video, is like, you know, it takes courage, and we have to sit there through this uncomfortable, which is what I was doing. And as I was walking and asking and walking, God help me, God help me, God help me, all of a sudden, it was like I watched a blurb of my childhood, and I'm adopted, and my brother's also adopted, 11 months older. I've never talked about this publicly, but, you know, I've experienced all kind, you know, sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, like being thrown off a roof, being held down and beat with bats, being, you know, his friends also taking advantage, my grade school principal, you know, dragging me in closets, and my animals being brutalized in front of me, and I was made to watch this happen with my brother. He'd, you know, kill them or hurt them or laugh, you know, like horrible, horrible stuff. I loved motorcycles. He, you know, stole it, repainted it, threw it in a cornfield, like stole my bike. Like, you guys, I could go on, and I'm not saying this from a victim place, because here I thought I'd done all this work, and in this moment, so anything that I loved was taken, right? Like, I literally never had a solid night's sleep. The door would fly open, my bedroom door would fly open. I'd get yanked by my feet off this really high brass bed, land on my back. Like, I couldn't own even my sleep. I couldn't own my space in my room. I couldn't protect my animals. I couldn't. So if I showed that I loved anything, or anything meant anything to me, it got taken, because he paid a lot of attention to what would disempower me. And so all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, I'm afraid to be seen. Number one, I'm afraid to show up and be seen. Here I'm thinking, oh, I'm invisible because I'm adopted, but the block is, I'm afraid to be seen or show that this work means the world to me, and my relationship with God and spirit and the beautiful messages that come through. I'm afraid that if I show how much it means to me, someone's gonna be able to take it. And first of all, nobody can take it. Nobody can be me. Nobody can have my divine relationship, right? So it's an illusion. The whole thing's an illusion, but it's still, and I'm working through it, right? It's on its way out. But it's still in there, resonating in here, not like it used to, or my life would not be what it is today, which I think is, my life is magic to me. You guys have heard me talk about it, but if in that moment I was not courageous enough, and I went into my ego, or I went into defense mode, or I did anything other than what I did, what I teach, or what I ask you guys to do, I wouldn't have gone head on into that. Holy shit. Oh my God, that makes so much sense, right? And I trusted the person that put it back on me and had the boundaries, and because they are trustworthy. So it's just, the message is like, we're never, if spirit brings up to you, even in your own, communing with them and asking, if you ask, what is it that I need to heal to move forward? Well, hopefully you are asking that, because hopefully you don't think you're done, because you're not. Whoever is, like, nobody is done. It doesn't matter who you are if you're in a body, right? So if you're gonna ask, like, have enough reverence, then be ready for the answer. Be ready, because that's how it works. If you ask spirit, help me, walk me to and through whatever it is I have left to heal, they're gonna walk you right into it. And you're gonna have the choice whether or not you're gonna have courage and be like, oh my God, no, have compassion. That's what I did. I was in shame for maybe, an hour or so, and then I just was like, wow, what a badass you are. Number one, like, you got through all that stuff and you found your way to purpose, and you're courageous enough to still keep healing, kid, And I know this is a long-winded, but it's a very important message, because things are getting really, spirits turning up the volume on people's pain right now on purpose, because we, again, all of this, everything, all the pandemic, all the things that have happened, the shit show that has been the last year and a half, almost 2 years, is a beautiful gift. It really is. Lots of painful things and loss, but it's all a gift. The wounds are being kind of gathered and brought to a head on our behalf. And if we truly want to stand in purpose and have the commitment to our soul, we have to allow whoever you ask, like, don't show up there, thinking that spirit's not going to give some either pretty direct messages or universal messages, much like now. But man, if you ask, be ready to receive.